Kayla, you went out of your way for me and made the cutest video anyone could ever ask for. Thank you. So I've been sitting here thinking about how I could possibly do something to be even close to being as cute as that was. I'm not as tech savvy, so I couldn't make a video like you did, but I realized I'm pretty darn good with my words. And I can't just write you any letter because I've done that quite a few times. I want it to be special, and I want you to feel special. I want to show you how much you mean to me and how greatly you are appreciated. So I'm going to write you a letter, and I'm going to read it for the whole world to listen to. So here it goes. We met 3 years ago in geometry. We never really talked, but I admired you from afar. I had always thought that she was going to be out of my league and that I was convinced that she was straight. After a week of being in school, I realized not only did we have the same math class, but she rode the same bus as I did. And she was dating my best friend's brother. I was discouraged. I had heard stories about her, but I didn't care about them. I just wanted 5 minutes to talk to her for myself. Well, I waited 2 years for those 5 minutes, and luckily for me, those 5 minutes turned into thousands of minutes. On March 9th of 2012, I sent her a message to ask her to text me maybe, and to my surprise, she did. We talked, got to know each other, and about 2 days later, I discovered she also likes girls. Man, I've never been more excited for anything in my whole life. Then I turned on the charm, and I was so convinced, one way or another, I was going to make her fall for me. Well, things didn't go my way at first. Someone beat me to the charm. I couldn't talk to her, and we stopped talking for 2 weeks, but I didn't stop thinking about her. And then I got a phone call, and it was her. I couldn't answer it, so I let it go to voicemail. I figured if it was important, she would leave a message, and she did. She was in tears, and she needed me, and I felt like the biggest punk for not answering. I called her back immediately. We talked for like 3 hours, and it started. I started to fall for her. I apologized 100 times and wanted to beat the shit out of the girl who broke her down, but she just wanted me around. We started hanging out. Even spent like 4 hours at the park. It was freezing cold, and I was trying to get to know, but we were still trying to get to know each other. Well, Friday, April 13th, I decided to go against superstition and ask her to make me extremely happy and be my girlfriend. And to my lovely surprise, she said yes. Man, was I excited. I told everyone in a matter of 5 minutes that we were together. I remember our first kiss. It was at my best friend's house 3 days after we started dating. I remember we could talk on the phone for hours and text 24/7. Nothing and no one had ever made me so happy. Well, about 3 weeks into our relationship, we were at the park, and we were chasing each other, and I stopped and looked at her and took the deepest breath I possibly could and let out the words "I love you." I wasn't sure if she was going to say it back, but I felt it, and I wanted her to know. Well, she said it back after asking me to repeat myself like 6 times. That was May 5th. Yeah, I know I'm a dork, and I remember the dates. We went on our first official date shortly after, to see the Avengers and to get sushi. I got a rose set, and I had the best time of my life. Over the summer, I fell more and more in love with her. I joined her and her family on vacations. I went through surgery with her, and supported her in dealing with her mom's death the best way that I knew how. We broke up for the first time on September 2nd. I was heartbroken. I missed her so much. But I tried to be understanding because I knew she was going through a lot. Well, that lasted 9 days, and we were back together on the 12th of September. I then continued falling in love with her. Yeah, sure, we have our ups and downs, but what couple doesn't? Well, October started, and that's when our relationship started to fall apart for the second time. On November 2nd, the one day that I thought things were getting back to normal, she disagreed and decided we needed to part ways. So we did. I tried to move on to see other people, but I couldn't, because not one of those girls could fill her shoes. And in fact, all of those girls put together couldn't fill her shoes. It was the longest 2 months of my life. I was totally in love with her, and she was still in love with me. And yet, we were still not together. She did her thing, trying to make sure that when we were together again, we'd be able to settle down. I'm not going to lie, it was the hardest thing I ever did. Watching her be with someone other than me broke my heart. But I still loved her more than I knew humanly possible. And, well, patience paid off, because on January 2nd of 2013, I asked her to once again be my girlfriend, and she agreed. Here we are, young and in love, and the whole world is at our fingertips, and a lifetime to live. There is a saying that if you love someone, you're supposed to let them go. If they come back to you, they're yours forever. If they don't, it was never meant to be. Well, we have found each other time and time again, and every time I fall more and more in love with you. She is the love of my life. She is my purpose, and as long as I have her in my life and at my side conquering the battles of life, I know I have nothing to fear. Because as she said, as individuals, we are extremely strong. As a team, as a couple, we are unstoppable. Even though we broke up and it felt like the end of the world, in a couple ways I'm kind of glad it happened. We both grew and matured, and because of that, our relationship is stronger now than ever. Our communication is at its best. My love for you grows deeper and deeper every day, KAYLA. You are the happiest I've seen you in a long time, and I am happy too. Today I did something I didn't know I was capable of. I was in the same house and the same car with the girl who came between us not once but twice. And I was nice to her. I shook her hand and wished her luck on her journey as she embarks on by moving to California. I have been thinking, trying to figure out how I was able to handle that without being my usual hot-headed self. And the answer is you. I love you too much to start something, one, in your own house, and two, to add more stress to you. I couldn't do it. It would be so disrespectful. So I sucked it up and put my big girl panties on and showed you that for you and in any situation, I can handle it like a mature adult. But please, don't make me give up my Batman obsession. That's crossing the line. KAYLA, this is our story. It's a crazy one, but it's the best one I know. We are on our new chapter of this book in our life, and it's off to an amazing start. I love you, KAYLA, and I always have, and I always will. There is nothing on this earth we can't accomplish or overcome. I cannot wait for the day that you walk down the aisle to me all dressed in white and take my hand and steal my last name. I know on that day I will shed a few tears, and I will never love anyone as much as you, besides maybe our children. Thank you for everything. The love, laughter, tears, heartache, long talks, the jokes, the movies, the long walks, the silent nights of nothing but cuddling. Thank you for never giving up on me. Thank you for loving me. Forever in 20 days. And that's just the start, babe.